Guys, what the fuck just happened? So, Chainsaw Man chapter 128 just dropped. I just finished reading it. We're gonna talk about it, but just guys, what is happening? What is happening? Like I told y'all every single video, every time I take a nap and I wake up for Chainsaw Man to drop, I read the new chapter and I'm like, oh, I don't think anything that crazy is gonna happen. Something crazy always fucking happens. Sorry for the language. I'm sorry for the language. All right, we need to talk about it. Let's get into the chapter. So the chapter starts off with the continuation of Asa and Denji talking. Well, Denji's Chainsaw Man, and Asa doesn't know that Denji's Chainsaw Man, and they're still talking about sex because remember at the end of the chapter, last chapter, Denji was like, I want to still be alive because I still want to have sex, and then Asa saying like, sex is nasty, like people only have sex because they have nothing better to do, like somebody else's saliva and sweat all mixing together with yours is just gross. And then Denji's like, are you dead ass? Like, nothing's better than somebody's saliva and sweat mixing with yours. And then Asa says something funny where Asa's like, wait a second, what makes you even think you would ever get any? Like, are you serious? Who would want to have sex with a chainsaw, man? Like a chainsaw sticking out of a guy's head? And as soon as Denji realizes that, he ends up getting like depressed or having the trauma. So they actually rise up into the door. So Asa, once again, fucks up the situation, because if she didn't say that and just been like, yeah, you're spitting Chainsaw Man, then they would have not went floating up until like the door. And so that made me laugh my ass off that Asa once again fucked up, right? And so they're both of them are floating upwards into the door, and we finally get to see what's at the door. And so we get there, right? And then all we see is a plate. We had a dude's head, and we see Denji, and we see Asa, and they're just sitting on this plate, just sitting on the plate, right? And then Asa's like knocked the fuck out, like knocked out, right? And Denji sees Asa and grabs her, picks her up on her, put her on her shoulder, and starts to walk to the door, right? And then as soon as he starts walking to the door, he sees like this little like bug thing, like this bug stunger, whatever, and it like attacks Denji, and like it cuts off, I believe, his leg at first. I think it's his one of his legs, right? And then we get to see this scene where the caterpillar devil pops up and rips Denji in half, right? His head falls off, like everything. But Denji has just gotten so much more powerful where even if he rips his head off, like his head gets ripped off, he can still pull his head and put it back on his body. And like it's just so crazy how much more powerful Denji is compared to part one. Because part one, when his head got knocked out, he was like done for a little bit unless someone pulled his rev him up. While in part two, he can rev up himself, and even after he loses his head, he still has like control of his body and still has like the consciousness to like still do stuff, right? And so after the Caliper Devil basically fucks up Denji, right, and makes his head come off, splits him in half, and then Denji grabs his head, puts it back on his body, and revs himself up again and keeps walking towards the door. And the Caliper Devil actually stops, like he like stops attacking Denji for now, and he gets to the door and it opens. And then Denji sees it's the Falling Devil. The Falling Devil is right there. And the Falling Devil says, my main dish does not call for Chainsaw Man. Leave Asa Mitaka and I'll send you back. And then Denji's like looking at her and he's thinking. And he looks at Asa's ass and says, can I at least bring her ass back with me? Which is fucking nuts that he said that. That is absolutely like crazy that he said that. I was not expecting that. And then the Fallen Devil says, like calls him a pervert and shit like that. And I think Denji was joking. He was joking basically. He wouldn't just like leave her, right? And so we see the next panel. This is when like shit like hit the fan. This is when I was like, what the fuck is happening, right? And so the Fallen Devil randomly just gets hit from the back. Pause. And when you see it, do you see that? That's a fucking chainsaw, right? And then Fallen Devil says, oh dear, this keeps happening to me today, right? And then she actually gets her head cut and it's like sliced in half as well. And Chainsaw Man is looking like Denji's like hella confused. And Asa starts to wake up. And the person that cut the Fallen Devil with a chainsaw says, the Fallen Devil has no tolerance for dinners who leave their food unfinished. They'll desperately try to devour Asa Mitaka, least they be killed by the Fallen Devil. Please evade them until sunrise, Chainsaw Man. Bro. What the fuck is happening? Okay. So, let's talk about it, right? This is when I lost my mind, was when I saw the chainsaw. Now, there's so many things this could be. It could be as simple as, this is just a nigga that's using a chainsaw to cut up the Fallen Devil. Or, it's another Chainsaw Man. which I don't know. I don't know. Like, if you look at, okay, so let's do an analysis, right? There's two things this could be, right? So, remember, I believe it was last chapter. Remember when Denji was like on the ground, and then the person, there's a figure that goes over Denji and like puts blood like inside of him, like puts it inside of him so he could like be rebooted and like get back up. And I thought it was Hirofumi or someone like that, Hirofumi, or maybe like Kobani. I don't think it's Kobani, but like I was most likely saying it's Hirofumi. But now I don't know if it's Hirofumi now, because whoever this is, I don't know. And like the person that did this, like he's wearing, like they're wearing black pants. You can't see his shoes. I don't think it's his shoes are black. I just think that because of the shadow, the black is just like gone, or like the color of the shoes gone. But all we can see is the back of like the front of this person being covered by the fallen devil. And it's just so confusing if this is actually like a person with a chainsaw. Because like because one, I don't see the person's hands. I don't think I see the person's hands. Actually, no, I'm looking at it right now. No, this has to be another Chainsaw Man. I am literally off the perk. Look, I'm not off the perk, but I'm just saying. Look at his hands, right? If you look at his hands, you can see chainsaws. You can see chainsaws on the side of his arms, and then a chainsaw on the top of his head. This is another Chainsaw Man. There's no this is not a dude that just has a chainsaw with him. This is another Chainsaw Man. What is happening? What is happening? This chapter is so confusing. It's so confusing. If this is another Chainsaw Man, because look, so if you look in the picture, right? Look at his arms. You can see on the side of his arms, he has chainsaws. They look pretty long too. I don't know if Denji's chainsaws are even that long. I can't see his chainsaws in this chapter so far. So I like in this chapter, so I don't know if his chainsaws are ever that long. They look pretty fucking long in this one. So you see his chainsaws, and they almost go to his foot. Like there's one on each of his arms, and then there's a chainsaw on the top of his head. So this has to be another Chainsaw Man, like another version of Denji. And I'm just so fucking confused because like there's never been evidence that there should be another Chainsaw Man besides Poshita. And so now I'm like confused. Like I'm wondering, is this like a Denji ability? Can he like split himself into two people? Or is this just another Chainsaw Man? Or maybe this is even like Nayata or something. I don't know. I don't know. Like, oh my god. It's just like what is happening? And I'm gonna go back over and talk about I'm gonna talk about another thing. So the one thing that the person says is the fallen devil has no tolerance for debtors who leave their food unfinished. Though desperately try to devour Asamataka, at least they be killed by the fallen devil. Please evade them until sunrise. Chainsaw Man. So this person that is like that attacked the fallen devil also like refers to Denji as the Chainsaw Man. Like that is the Chainsaw Man. And this person, I'm guessing, doesn't see themselves as like the main Chainsaw Man or even a Chainsaw Man at all. That's what lets confuse me. Like this person refers to Denji as the Chainsaw Man and still thinks that they're the one that's gonna be able to beat the fallen devil. And this gives us two things. So the person said please evade them until sunrise. So I'm guessing that maybe the fallen devil was summoned to Earth, like we said, from the caterpillar devil and from the residents of hell for Asamataka. And I believe that they'll go away if it's by sunrise. Maybe like her time on Earth is only contracted until sunrise, right? Because she didn't die in hell to get summoned on Earth and then vice versa. Like she had to like get summoned there with a contract or whatever, or a deal with probably the caterpillar devil, and that's how she got to Earth. But I'm assuming because of what this Chainsaw Man said, that deal's only gonna last until sunrise and she'll get sent back to hell. So that's my thought. Oh my god, this chapter's so crazy. I don't know any more theories I can come up with right now. We have to wait 2 weeks for the next chapter, so maybe I'll drop a video and try to figure out who the fuck this is. But the last thing I'll talk about is that with the caterpillar devil, when the scene where Denji's like running away from the caterpillar devil, and the caterpillar devil like I guess takes off one of his legs and it cuts him in half. There's a really cool like panel where like it shows the fallen devil like behind Denji and like Asa, and this panel looks so fucking cool. Like this panel looks freaking amazing, right? And it's weird that like after that happens, Denji just puts his head back on and just keeps walking, and the caterpillar devil doesn't do anything. Like, so I think my theory of like the caterpillar devil being like more important, I don't even think he is. I think he's more like just a devil, just to be a devil that's working with the fallen devil that wants to eat people. But like, that's so crazy that like so far he hasn't really done anything. But I think that's everything I want to talk about. We have to wait 2 weeks, right? Because this is like one of those big chapters where Fujimoto's like, I'm gonna make them wait 2 weeks. So hopefully in 2 weeks we figure out exactly who this Chainsaw Man, this second Chainsaw Man is. I think I might drop a video on it, going into more detail after a few days or so, try to figure out who this is. But oh my god, this is so crazy. This is so nuts. There's 2 Chainsaw Men. Oh my god, this is so crazy. And it's not like no cosplay. It's not a person holding a chainsaw. Look at his arms. He has the same chainsaws as Denji, where it goes down his arms. It's the exact same. Oof. Okay. Alright, that's it for this video. Leave a like, subscribe, and see more content. And hit that bell post consistent. I'm gonna talk to y'all later. Tell me what you think down below about this second Chainsaw Man. And I'm gonna see you guys later. Peace.